Hi, good morning, good evening to all of you wherever you are. In this video, I'm going to talk about the role and responsibilities of a project manager. What does a project manager do? My name is Abhishek and I have close to 29 years of experience in the IT industry in business analysis, project and program management. In my career, I have managed many large and complex projects for the banking and financial services industry successfully. Project managers are like captain of the ship. Just as a captain navigates a ship through choppy and turbulent waters to reach its destination, a project manager navigates a project through the complexities and challenges of a project, the requirements and the stakeholders to reach a successful outcome. A project manager is responsible for the planning, execution, monitoring, controlling and closure of a project. They are accountable for the project's success or failure. So if the project succeeds, most of the credit goes to the project manager. And if the project fails, it's the reverse. Before I talk about the project manager's role, let me first talk about who is a project manager. Project manager phrase comprises of two words. First one is a project. So what is a project? A project is a set of activities, milestones or phases that support an effort to accomplish something. So if you want to achieve some goal or you want to create something, you are going to perform and execute certain set of activities and you will start the work at some fixed date and finish the entire activities on some end date. Which means a project actually is a temporary set of activities which start on a particular date and end on a particular date, and in this period they accomplish some task. For example, you must have seen building of a residential project. There's a start date, there's an end date. Similarly, you can look at the flyovers, the bridges, the highways. These are all projects. These are civil engineering projects. In similar manner, a software project will also be undertaken to help a customer achieve a goal. It will start on a particular date and it will end on a particular date. And during that period, set of activities will be performed to get the software application ready. The next word is manager. So who is a manager? A manager is a professional who manages any endeavor or a project to take it from the start and reaches the conclusion so that it accomplishes its objective. In other words, if we combine project and manager, a project manager is a role who is responsible for managing a project from start to finish, and in that exercise helping a customer achieve their business objectives or goals. So having understood the term as to who is a project manager, now let's see what does a project manager do. Now to understand that, let's take a simple example. Max Insurance is a general insurance company and it wants to offer multiple types of insurances like motor insurance, home insurance and few other types of insurance products to the customers who can buy these insurance policies online. Now, Max Insurance needs to hire a tech company to help them achieve their goal, which is to offer their customers ability to buy insurance products online. Now, how does this work? So, Max Insurance will float a tender or ask a few IT companies, generally number is 3, to submit their proposals with the timelines and the budget. So let's say 3 IT companies apply. So the Max Insurance officials will review the proposal, do some kind of negotiations with each of the companies before finalizing one of these. In this case, Max Insurance, for example, has shortlisted an IT company called Tread Infotech. Once it is shortlisted, all the negotiations are done, then a contract will be signed between Max and Tread Infotech. So once the contract is signed between the business and the IT company, a team has to be formed in Tread Infotech so that they can execute the project. So who are going to be there in the team? Let's have a look. So I'm using a very simple project team structure to help you understand. Different kinds of approaches may have different kinds of team structures. Like in Agile, the team structures could be different. So a project team is generally headed by one project manager, or if it's a very large project, there could be somebody who is a senior project manager or a project director. Under the project manager, let's say for example, we are talking about a mid-sized project being headed by a project manager. So project manager is the first person who is assigned to a project team. Under the project manager, there are several roles. As you can see on the screen, tech lead, business analyst, tech architect, testing manager. So these are the most common roles which are going to report to a project manager or part of the project team. The tech lead will have a team under him or her, which will be comprising of the programmers. Similarly, a business analyst can also be somebody who can lead a small team of business analysts. Similarly, testing manager may have a number of testers under him or her. So this is the typical team structure. And in this team structure, as you can see, project manager is at the top of the hierarchy. This is a very general purpose team, most commonly used to understand the structure of a project team. Now it's time to have a look at what does a project manager do. So once a project manager takes over the project, then the first thing he or she does is to formally kick off the project or initiate the project. During the project kickoff, the project team is briefed by the sales team. Sales team which has worked with the customer to get the project. So there will be a lot of documentations, communications, proposal, even the contract. They will have it. So they will transfer those things to the project team, where project manager will take control of these documentations and communications so that expectations are set correctly, which is very, very important thing to do. Now the project manager gets the project underway. So a project manager's role is typically divided into three important categories or three important aspects: planning, monitoring, and controlling. As you can see on the screen, these are the very broad level description of what does a project manager do. So now let's understand each one of them one by one. Let's start with planning. So the planning comprises of planning for the activities which are going to be undertaken in the project. For example, it could be studying the requirements. It could be completing the coding part for the project, completing the testing part of the project. So it will be divided into smallest possible activities, also known as work breakdown structure, so that the project manager and the team which is supporting the project manager can really plan each activity with the start date and the end date and who are going to do it, so that the understanding on the schedule, when the project can be finished and how many resources are required can be ascertained. Then the project manager can also work with the resource team to get these people on board. That is one part of the planning. The second part of the planning is to recheck the budget. Based on the plan which is made, the project manager has to also ascertain if the budget which was approved by the customer in the form of contract is good enough, or there was some underestimation or overestimation done by the sales team. Because ultimately it's about the project manager who has to take the credit or also the blame for the failure. So in the beginning, they need to have a good idea whether it is doable within this budget and the committed timelines. Next one is managing the risks, because no matter what kind of a project you do, if you do the project for 6 months, there are going to be certain unforeseen circumstances and events which may negatively impact the progress of the project. So if it requires attention, the project manager can look at those risks and put together a plan to mitigate those risks. We'll talk about risk mitigation and all later on in the next set of videos. Next part of the planning is monitoring. So it's not just about the planning, but planning is an active set of documents, meaning you always need to monitor. So the project manager also monitors how these activities are undergoing, meaning is it likely that some set of activities will get delayed? So what are the dipstick checks, right? Dipstick, you understand, right? Putting a dipstick inside a petrol tube in the car to check how much fuel is left, right? That's a quick and very raw kind of a check. So you can just go to project manager, can quickly go to the test manager, or can go to a developer and ask, where are they? Just to ascertain broadly that are things on time? If not, what can the project manager do to bring those timelines as per the schedule? So if one activity is getting delayed, it might affect other activities which are dependent on this one. So it's in the interest of the project that it is found out in time so that corrective actions can be taken, which is the next part, which is controlling. So controlling means taking corrective actions based on whatever has come out in the monitoring part. Now, as part of the controlling activities, it is possible to correct the delay and overcome it so that the overall project dates don't exceed the scheduled end date. But in some cases, it is possible that the delays cannot be addressed. It will get delayed by all means, which means now what is the responsibility of the project manager? To look at the impact of this delay on the overall project and go ahead and inform the customer that there is going to be a delay. So in this way, a project manager performs planning, monitoring and controlling to ensure that the project gets executed as much as possible as per the plan. But at the same time, it's also very important that project manager constantly monitors and takes corrective actions to ensure that if there is some negative impact of certain activities, something gets stuck because of the technical problems, they are always on top of the problem. That's a common terminology used in project management, that you have to be on top of the project so that you're always aware what is happening in the project. So a project manager plays a very, very important role in ensuring that a project starts on the scheduled date, ends on the scheduled date, and most importantly, it is able to help the customer achieve the business objectives. That is the real success of a project. So in this video, we talked about who is a project manager and what does a project manager do. In the next video, I'm going to talk about these project role and responsibilities in a little more depth. And then I'm also planning to talk about risk management, schedule management, so on later on in the coming months. As you might have realized, that project manager's role is challenging as well as rewarding. Hope this video has helped you in understanding the role and responsibility in detail. If you want to make a career as a project manager, Techcanvass offers project management fundamentals course. In addition, it also offers courses on Microsoft Project and Jira, two of the most important tools for project management. I'll provide the links of the courses in the description. Thanks for watching this video. If this video was useful to you, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. And please don't forget to click on the notification icon. Thank you for watching this video.